A period of time had elapsed. I've no idea how long, when, instinctively, I turned my head towards the left. I'm sure my mouth fell open and remained that way. One of the two people I had met earlier was coming towards us from the left, leading a person, very odd in appearance, by the shoulder. For a moment I thought this person to be a Red Indian chief such as we see in films. I will try to describe him as best I can. He was very small in stature, perhaps 150 centimeters, but what was most striking about him was that he was as wide as he was tall, just like a square. His head was completely round and sat directly on his shoulders. What had at first sight brought to mind an Indian chief was his hair, which was more like feathers, colored yellow, red and blue, rather than hair. His eyes were quite red, and his face was flattened almost like a Mongoloid face. He had no eyebrows, but lashes that were 4 times as long as mine. He had been given a robe like mine, although quite different in color. The limbs that extended beyond the robe were of the same light blue color as his face. His aura, silvery in places, shone brightly, and around his head was a strong halo of gold. The shower of color from the top of his head was much smaller than Thiaou's, rising only a few centimeters into the air. He was, telepathically, invited to take a seat, about 10 paces to our left. Again, the central figure levitated towards the new arrival and placed his hands on his head, repeating the procedure I had experienced. When we were all seated, the great figure began to address us. He spoke in the language of Thiaoouba, and I was completely stunned at finding I understood everything he said, just as if he had spoken in my mother tongue.